Dear friends, welcome to the science class. In the last class, we discussed about the numericals related to the time position, velocity, and velocity time relationship. And we solved some in-text question which are present in your textbook up to the fourth question. Today we are going to solve the fifth question. Right, we are going to solve the fifth question and we are going to discuss about the circular uniform motion. That is nothing but uniform circular motion. After that topic, the chapter will be over. So that we are going to complete the chapter today, and from tomorrow onwards we are going to start with the exercise questions. So that start to prepare well. I am going to take an exam on this topic only, on the whole motion topic. There will be numericals of which are going to come. Those may be applied one. Those are not belong to the textbook one. So that we prepare well. Now what is the first question here? Fifth question in the text question is: a stone is thrown in a vertical upward direction. A stone is thrown in a vertically upward direction with a velocity of 5 meter per second. If the acceleration of the stone during its motion is 10 meter per second square in the opposite direction, that is nothing but in the downward direction. In the downward direction, what will be the height attained by this stone and how much time it will take to reach there? How much time it will take to reach there? In the problem statement, they are given that a stone which is thrown vertically upward direction. It is thrown in the vertically upward direction. If I take a stone, this is thrown in the vertically upward direction with a velocity of 5 meter per second square. With a velocity of 5 meter per second square. Right? Sorry, it is 5 meter per second only. Since velocity is assigned, it is 5 meter per second. So that it is thrown upward direction with a velocity of 5 meter per second. And 5 meter per second. If the acceleration of the stone during its motion is 10 meter per second, acceleration in this direction is 10 meter per second square in the downward direction. In the downward direction means it is in the downward direction which is opposite to the direction of the stone moving. Which is opposite to the direction of the stone moving. It is in opposite direction. That is nothing but it is equal to 10 meter per second square. So what we have to calculate? We have to calculate what will be the height attained by this stone and how much time it will take to reach there. We have to calculate the height which this stone is going to attain after the throwing it vertically. And we have to also have to calculate the amount of time it is going to take for the reaching that height. The amount of time which is going to take for reaching that height. So that we have to calculate those things. So first of all, what we have to do? We have to write the given data first. What are they given? A stone is thrown in a vertically upward direction with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Here the velocity of that stone is given. If the acceleration of the stone during its motion is 10 meter per second square in the opposite direction or in the downward direction, they are given the acceleration of the stone during its motion is 10 meter per second square in the opposite direction, that is nothing but in the downward direction. So what will be the height of the attained by that stone? We have to calculate the height attained by that stone. Now what will be the height here? What will be the height here? See here. The stone is going in this direction. We have to calculate height. What will be the height here? If the stone is going in this direction, we are going to take the total distance covered by that stone. If the stone is going in this direction, throwing the stone in this direction along the ground, that means we are going to calculate the total distance covered by that stone in this direction. In the same manner, if we are throwing the stone in the vertically upward direction, that means the stone is going to cover this much of distance. That distance is nothing but it will be height. So that in this case we have to calculate the total distance covered by that stone. The total distance covered by that stone which is moving in the upward direction. So that we have to calculate, yes, we have to calculate what time taken for the attaining that distance. So that one by one we are going to see. First we have to write down given data. What is the given data here? Stone is moving in the vertically upward direction. That is nothing but they are given the initial velocity, that is nothing but 5 meter per second. They are given the initial velocity. Initial velocity of stone. Initial velocity of stone, that is nothing but 5 meter per second. Initial velocity. Why we have taken the initial velocity? After attaining some height, it is going to stop there. That is nothing but it will be the final velocity. If it is stopping there only, what it may say that the final velocity of that object after attaining that height, it is going to fall down. After attaining that height, the final velocity at that position will be what? It will be 0. So that again in the problem statement has given the acceleration of the stone. Acceleration of the stone in downward direction. In downward direction, which is nothing but a. What is it? It is 10 meter per second square. 10 meter per second square. When you check that problem statement, stone is going in the upward direction, vertically upward direction. It is vertically upward direction. That means there is a negative force which is acting on it. If it is going in the upward direction, if the acceleration applied is in the downward direction, that is nothing but it is going to reduce the speed of that stone. It is going to reduce the speed of the stone. So that if it is going in the upward direction, acceleration which is acting in the downward direction, that we can take acceleration as the negative. Always remember that whatever acceleration which is acting on a motion, if it is in opposite direction, when we say that it will be a negative. So that we have to take the acceleration as minus 10 meter per second square. We have to take acceleration as the 10 meter per second square. If you throw this chalk, the chalk is going in the upward direction and some negative force, some opposite force is acting on that. That opposite force has the acceleration of 10 meter per second square. So that we have to take it as minus. So that A equal to how much? It is equal to minus 10 meter per second square. Next, final velocity of the stone. Final velocity of the stone. What will be the final velocity of the stone? That V is nothing but what? It will be 0 meter per second. After attaining some height, it is going to stop there. So then we have to calculate height attained. Height attained by the stone. That is equal to distance covered. That is equal to distance covered by that stone. Distance covered by that stone. That is equal to nothing but S equal to, that is nothing but H equal to question mark. Height and the total distance covered both are same. Why it is moving in the upward direction? So that we are going to consider height, which is nothing but S. In the same manner, time taken for attaining that height. Attaining that height. Time taken for attaining that height is equal to how much? It will be equal to T equal to question mark. We don't know that value, so that we are going to take it as question mark. Now we are going to consider the different equations. Relationship between the, we already discussed about the three equations relation between the motions, or three equations of the motion we have already discussed. When you consider those equations, that is nothing but V equal to U plus AT first one. Don't write these things. I'm just telling you to which equation you have to take here to solve this problem. Now V equal to U plus AT, first equation. Second equation is nothing but S equal to UT plus half AT square. S equal to UT plus half AT square. Third equation what it is? It is equal to 2AS equal to V square minus U square. Or we can take it as V square equal to 2AS plus AU square. Both the equations are same. Now, from these equations, we have to calculate what? We have to calculate height attained by this stone, distance covered by this stone. That is nothing but S. So that we have to take here two equations for the purpose of the identifying the total distance covered. When we check that first equation, that is nothing but S equal to UT plus half AT square. When you check the given data, there is no data for time. They are not given any data for the time. So there we cannot use the S equal to UT plus half AT square equation. This equation can't be used in this case. Now by using this equation, we can find out the time taken for that case. There we are given the B, we also have the U, we also have the A. So that we can use this equation for the purpose of the time taken for the attaining that height. We can calculate time taken by the using this equation, that is nothing but V equal to U plus AT. In the same manner, for checking the total distance or height attained by that object or stone, we are going to use this equation. This equation why A is there in the given data, B is also there in the given data, U is also there in the given data, so that we are going to use this equation for the purpose of calculating the height attained by the stone. So that we are going to use the equation. We know that 2AS equal to V square minus U square, that is nothing but V square equal to U square plus 2AS, if you remember the previous classes. So that we have to calculate this. Therefore S equal to what? V square minus U square divided by 2A. Therefore S equal to, what is the value of V? It is equal to 0, so that 0 square minus what is the value of U? U is 5, so that we can write it minus 5 whole bracket square whole divided by 2 into what is the value of A? A value is minus 10, so that into minus 10. That equal to 0 square means it will be how much? It will be 0, so that I am not going to write anything. So that minus what is the value of 5 square? It will be 25 whole divided by minus into plus it will be minus, 2 tens are 20, minus get cancelled. Now that equal to how much? It will be equal to 5 5s are 5 4s are, that will be equal to how much? It will be equal to 1.25. It will be equal to 1.25 meters. 1.25 meters. The height of the object will be 1.25 meters. That is nothing but S equal to 1.25 meters. I hope this is clear. That is nothing but S equal to 1.25 meters. S is nothing but what? It is equal to height of the object which is attained. Clear? I hope this is clear. How to calculate the height attained by that object. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate next what? Time taken for the attaining that height. Time taken for the attaining that height. That is nothing but T. So that we are going to calculate that by using the equation what? We are going to use the equation A equal to U or V equal to U plus AT. V equal to U plus AT, which is given here. So that we have to calculate T. So that we are going to write AT equal to V minus U. Therefore T equal to V minus U divided by A. T equal to V minus U divided by A. To calculate those things, V minus U divided by T. A for the calculation purpose of the time taken. So that T equal to what is the value of V? V equal to 0. What is the value of U? U equal to how much? It is equal to 5 whole divided by what is the value of acceleration? That is nothing but minus 10. So that T equal to minus 5 divided by minus 10. 5 1s are 5 2s are minus get cancelled. That can be written as 0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds. It is going to cover 1.25 meters. Height attained will be 1.25 meters. Therefore, this is the value of the time. Therefore, time equal to 0.5 seconds. So that we can say that the height attained by the stone is 1.25 meters. And time taken for that is 0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds. This is the answer to this problem. So in this solving any problem, it may be mathematical problem or it may be physics problem. So just must correctly understand the problem statement. First correctly understand the problem statement. Then try to write the every given data. Try to write the every given data. Then by using the concept which are already studied in the previous classes, the formula which we are already studied in the previous classes, try to analyze those things, interlink those things with this problem statement, so that whichever data we are going to find out, it is there or not in the formula. By using those formula, we are going to solve those equations. By this case, we are getting the answers like this. I hope this is clear. Right. Next, we are going to discuss about the uniform circular motion or uniform circular acceleration. So that I hope this is clear. Now we are going to discuss about the uniform circular motion. What does that mean? Why in the circular motion the motion will be uniform? We are going to check those things now in this concept. So that I am going to take example. We are going to take an example of a rectangular ground. A rectangular ground. That is nothing but a round or a ground which is closed path, which has the closed path. So that this rectangle has the A, B, C, D. In the same manner, we are going to take an hexagonal path. We are going to take an hexagonal path having each side having the same distance. Let this be the A, B, C, D, E, F. In the same manner, we are going to take another path which is octagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And all of the sides of the octagon are also equal. That is nothing but A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. If I take the triangle also, this is the path. That is nothing but A, B, C. Right. Now along with those things, if an athlete starts from the point A, I am just taking the for purpose of uniform circular motion, we should discuss these things. Circular motion is nothing but it is the motion in the closed path only, so that we are going to take the closed path surfaces. Now grounds, if an athlete starts from the A point, is going to move along this side with uniform speed, is going to move along with this side uniform speed, again from this side to this side, again to this side to this side, from A point to B, B to C and C to A again, with an uniform speed. If it is moving with the uniform speed, the speed of the AB is equal to the speed of the BC is equal to the speed of the CA. The magnitude of the speed will be equal. But what happens when it changes the direction at point B? Is it possible to that it is going to travel in the same speed of the points? No. As the direction of the motion changes here, as the direction of the motion of that athlete changes here, he is going to change its speed at the point of the changing of the direction. In the same manner, when you take the example of rectangle, he is going to change its direction 4 times. Here he is going to change his direction for 3 times. Here he is going to take the direction, change the direction 4 times. So then the speed is going to again, the speed is constant only, but at the position of the changing the direction, the speed is going to get reduced. In the same manner, when you take the octagon, when you are traveling from A, B, hexagon, when you are traveling from A point to B point, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F and F to A. For the completion of one complete round is going to change direction 6 times. In this case, is going to change direction 3 times, 4 times, 6 times. When we increase the number of the sides, the number of changing the direction, the amount of changing the direction is also going to increase. It is also going to increase. So that in this case, if we starting from the A point, he is going to move to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, G to H, H to A again. So that in this journey to complete one round on this hexagonal, octagonal round, he is going to change his direction 8 times. He is going to change his direction 8 times. If he goes on increasing the number of the sides, if he goes on increasing the number of sides, here we take the number of sides 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Again, if you increase the number of sides to 10, again there will be change the number of the changing the direction is equal to 10 times. So if you are goes on changing the direction, now you are going to increase the number of the sides, so that number of the direction goes on increasing at infinite position, at infinite sides of these things, there will be formation of the circle. The infinite sides which contain, it is going to be a circle. If you if using this side, it will become what? It will become a circular. It will become the circular position. It will become a circular position. If the point that athlete is going to start is A, if it's traveling on this circular surface or circular boundary, is going to travel like this. Is going to travel like this. If we check the change in the direction, here the change in the direction will be n number. He is going to travel along the boundary, so that always is going to change its direction. If always is going to change the direction, that means he is going to travel with uniform speed. He is going to travel with the uniform speed. Here there is a change in the direction. If we going in this direction, suddenly you have to change direction like this. Suddenly you have to change the direction like this, in this direction. If you take the rectangle path also, if it is going in this direction, suddenly you have to change the direction this way. Suddenly you have to change the direction in this way. If I is traveling in circular path that is nothing but circular boundary, you have to continuously change its direction like this. If you have to continuously change its direction, if it is moving in the uniform speed, the change in the direction is not going to affect its speed. So that when a circular motion is happening, a object which is in the circular motion with the uniform speed is getting accelerated. Which is getting accelerated and moving with the uniform speed. This motion is known as uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion is nothing but any object which is moving in a circular path with a constant velocity, so that we can say that which is in uniform circular motion. So that we can say that if an object is moving with uniform acceleration or uniform speed or velocity, then in a circular path, then it is said to be uniform circular motion. Then it is said to be uniform circular motion. If we take the example of this, here you have changed the direction 3 times, so that at each time he is going to change his speed. Here 4 times, again you have to change the speed. If you increase the number of sides indifferently, it will become a circle. Here the circle in this circle, and each and every point the speed will be uniform. If the speed is uniform, then this motion is known as uniform circular motion. So that we can say that uniform speed moving along a circular path is always a uniform circular motion. It is always going to be uniform circular motion. For these cases, we can take the examples of the rotation of the earth around the sun. It is also a uniform circular motion. Rotation of the planets along their orbits, which is orbiting around the sun. The planets which are orbiting around the sun is the example for this uniform circular motion. Right? In the same manner, if you take the thread and keep or hold a stone on the other edge of that, and keep a stone on the other edge of that thread. What happens if I start to rotate it? It is going to rotate with the circular uniform motion. It is going to rotate with this same speed. It is going to continuously rotate with the same speed. If it is going to continuously rotate with the same speed, then we can say that it is in the uniform circular motion. Those are the examples for the uniform circular motion. Right? In the same manner, to check the direction that in the uniform circular motion, every object is going to change its direction at every position. In the uniform circular motion, if the object is moving like this, if you have to check the object is changing its direction at every point of position, so that we have to do an activity. That activity is nothing but we have to take a thread to check for the changing in the direction in the circular motion. We have to take a thread and we have to keep a stone on the other side. Right, a small piece of the stone on its ends. We have to keep on. We have to thread and we have to tie a small piece of stone on the other side of the thread, so that when you start the rotating that thread, if I leave it that thread continuously, I am going to rotate it. When I leave that thread, the thread is going to move in the direction or the point of the position where we leave it. If the thread is moving in this direction like this, it is more rotating like this. If I leave that thread at this position, what will happen? This thread is going to go in this direction only. This is going to in this direction only. If a mathematical form, if you have to say that it is going to travel in the tangent direction only. It is going to travel tangentially or tangent direction only. If I leave that stone here, if it is moving like this, if I leave the thread here at this point, at this position, what will happen? It is going to move like this. If I leave here, it is going to move like this. If I leave here, it is going to move like this. When you check for the different position, when you leave that thread at different position of the stone, it is going to move tangentially to the position of that movement. By this, we came to an idea that the objects which are moving in a circular path always changes its direction. In the same manner, for the purpose of the javelin throw, he is going to take that in the circular motion, or we can say that what? Hammer, the throws of hammer is going to rotate like this. First, he is going to give the circular motion to that hammer. After that, he is going to leave that. If I come and do the circular motion like this, when I leave it, the hammer is going to move in the direction of the tangentially to the direction of the motion at this position. In the same manner, cricket player, the bowler who is going to bowl, is going to give the circular motion to the ball first. He is going to come running, sprinting to the crease, then he is going to rotate his hands. The point of the release of that ball is like this. If the point of the release of this ball is at this point, the ball is going to move in this direction only. If the point of the release of that ball is in this direction, the ball is going to go in this direction only. Due to that, we can say that in this uniform circular motion, the object which is moving around this uniform circular motion is always going to change its direction. It is also always going to change its direction at every point position. So that now what we have to do? We know all about the uniform circular motion, as well as we came to know about that in uniform circular motion at every point position it is going to change its direction. Now, in some cases we have to find out the speed of that object which is moving around the circular path. So that to find out the speed, if you remember, speed can be given as total distance covered. If you remember total distance covered, the speed can be given as the total distance covered whole divided by time taken. When you check that in a uniform circular motion, if the object is going to complete one round, what we have to find out? We have to find out the speed of that object. So the total distance covered here in the circular path will be what? The total distance covered in the circular path will be like this. That is nothing but it is the perimeter, or it is the circumference of that circle. So that in circular motion, the total distance covered will be given as circumference. And time taken will be t. So that the circumference of the circle is given by the formula that is nothing but 2 pi r divided by t. So that in case of circular motion, to find out the speed, we are going to use the formula that is nothing but v equal to 2 pi r divided by time, where 2 pi pi r is nothing but the circumference of that circle, where r is nothing but the radius of that circle. It is the radius of that circular path. By using this formula, we are going to calculate the speed of this circular path. In the same manner, to find out the what velocity, we have to take the initial position and the final position, and we have to calculate those things. Here your chapter, that is nothing but question chapter, is over. In next class we are going to start with the exercise questions, and it will take time, so that there is a number of numericals, there are a lot of numericals, and those are very complicated ones, so that it will take time, so that be prepared, be concentrated on the class. Up to that point, in the next class we are going to discuss. Up to that point, thank you, take care, stay well, stay home.